As soon as Catherine gets situated here. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Roll call. Beth Waterman.
Beth Waterman.
Angel Molina.
Here.
Robert Cruikshank. Catherine O'Toole. Vivian Welcome is our guest tonight, and a friend of Vivian's,
Rebecca Kish.
Rebecca Kish.
K-I-S-H? K-I-S-C-H.
K-I-S-C-H.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Maya is supposedly checking in here, but she's not on yet, so. And Karen is absent.
Message her on
Okay, thank you. I brought my phone too, in case she's trying to contact me. Brought all my devices. I don't have any messages from her. Okay, so let's get started here. The approval of the minutes. We had a correction to the minutes, we sent out a revision. Did everyone have a chance to read them?
it. Yes.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So made. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Catherine. Membership items, correspondence, and announcements. Well, Vivian, just before this meeting, sent me an announcement of a webinar that's being sponsored by the New York Planning Federation and New York State DEC, which I will share with you. And by email tomorrow. They're considering revising the freshwater wetland regulations in New York State. Correct me if
I'm not sure if it's considering or if they already have.
Well,
It was hard for me to tell from what they wrote. You got the impression that they were considering, or
Well,
that they were
maybe-
explaining them? Let's
Is
see.
that
maybe-
because of the Chevron,
I don't know. This
decision?
was all new to me.
It says, freshwater wetlands, we know they are lands and submerged lands, that are protected by New York's Freshwater Wetlands Act, enacted in 1975, and modernized as part of the 2022-2023 enacted state budget. The proposed rule would take effect in January 2025 and clarify jurisdictional status of smaller wetlands of unusual importance that meet one of 11 specific criteria. So right now, wetlands that are 12.5 acres or more are protected under the Freshwater Wetlands Act, but this new regulation would protect vernal pools and some smaller wetlands, I think. So anyway, if you'd like to find out more about wetlands and their protection, you can attend this webinar, which is free and open to the public, on Wednesday, August 14th, from 12 to 1. Thank you for that important information, Vivian.
And when they say proposed rule, that's what I couldn't figure out. Well, what has to happen before it becomes a rule?
Yeah. It sounds like it was passed in the budget. Maybe they have to have, the draft regulations provide a revised wetland classification system and a process for the public to request and appeal jurisdictional determination. So I think that must be what this current information is about.
Yeah.
That they have to have basically a public hearing before it's final. Okay. So, 4th of July parade. Well, for the third year in a row, we walked in the 4th of July parade. And this year, we had 2 electric vehicles. We had Michael Chaffee and we had Maya's Tesla. And,
No, Autumn.
oh, I'm sorry, Autumn's Tesla, correct. Maya had thought she would bring hers, but she wasn't in town that day, so Autumn Brookmeyer came with her Tesla. And we proudly carried the banner and waved flags, and we handed out our new cards about our 3 campaigns. Yeah. Which looks like this. And there's some extras on the table. These are informational, and they take the, they refer to our website, link to our website, where the campaigns are described in a little more detail. But we'll talk about the campaigns later. This year, you know, there are not too many participants in the parade beyond the fire companies and other sort of semi-officials. So I reached out to some other groups, you know, Autumn, she's on the Parks and Rec Committee, and, you know, other active citizens to march with us. So Gizi Vela from the Pine Hill Library marched with us, and Jan Jaffe and Ro Wall from PH2, the citizens group that meets regularly, came with us. And there were some children, and Karen was there, I was there, Catherine was there. It was very hot. It was quite. We walked from the school down to the Main Street, and down Main Street to the parish hall. And we didn't do too much in terms of decorating the cars or anything like that. Basically, we handed out these cards, and that was about it. But there was interest in next year going another step or two in terms of our public presentation. I don't know what.
Well, I think that the cars, the truck and the car should have some kind of wording on them saying that they're electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily obvious to someone. I mean, the Tesla, yes, but the truck, people think, oh, it's a truck. I mean, they may or may not realize that it's a Rivian and it's electric, and so that might be helpful. But
Yeah.
maybe by next year, everyone will know.
Right. Okay,
I was gonna say, Bruce's big globe is always a big hit.
yes, and I didn't bring that this time. I was just, you know,
Yeah,
simplifying.
yep. And if we have a pickup, like Michael had a pickup, that
Yep.
would work, right?
Yeah, it would, yeah. We could put the big globe in next year.
Yep.
So, let's talk about our NYSERDA community campaigns. So, just to reiterate, NYSERDA is New York State Energy Resource Development Authority. And they have a program called Clean Energy Communities that rewards communities who participate in various ways to with cash, actual cash dollars. So, thank you, Rob. So we signed up for 3 campaigns. For some reason, I eliminated one of them on this list. So we have a clean heating and cooling campaign, we have a community solar campaign, and we have an EV campaign. And prior to our campaigns, we had already earned $15,000 for the town, not us, $15,000 to be used for clean energy projects. That money came because we got above a certain level of points of things that we had done that qualified us, the incentives that, you know, they proposed. So that money has already been received. Well, the first $5,000 has been received, and that was spent on electric lawn equipment for the town. So they bought 3 electric chainsaws, an electric pole saw, an electric leaf blower, some batteries and chargers, and possibly other items. I'm not sure they've physically purchased them all yet, so we'll await further developments on that. But apparently, and I was so excited to learn this, the highway department was very
Excited about it.
excited.
Yeah, that was really cool to read,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they had wanted to purchase this equipment, they didn't have the money in the budget. They, in the winter, when the snow is very heavy and they're plowing, a lot of times,
Power
trees are weighed down, and the men don't like to drive in the cab with the gas-powered chainsaw in the cab because of the fumes. So they put it in the bed of the pickup truck, and then it gets covered with salt and, you know, other stuff. So it's not very easy for them, and this will make it much easier. They can keep the chainsaw in the cab and just get out and take care of the trees or the limbs if needed. So that's great.
Yeah.
And the other 10,000 we plan to spend on putting EV chargers, electric vehicle charging stations in Phoenicia, the town hall, and Pine Hill. And at the town board meeting on July, at the first Monday of July, the town board approved $20,000 in ARPA money, that's the money that the town got during COVID,
Oh, they did do that? Oh,
Mhm.
great.
to help subsidize this project. So, we're making progress. Now, with the 2 campaigns, the clean heating and cooling campaign, which Rob and Angel have been working on, we have submitted our Tier 1 scorecard. I don't know what to call it.
Update, yeah.
Yeah, we documented the installation of 5, you can explain.
Sure, yeah, so we are keeping a list of the heat pumps that we find out about that have come into the town through installers and through homeowners and through the building department, and we're always looking for more sources so we can capture them all. But we've got 9 already, and 5 is what we needed to come over across the first line. So that's been submitted, so we get $5,000, right?
Yeah, and they've approved it. So we'll be getting $5,000 for that, that's Tier 1. Then Tier 2 is if we get 10 more, and we're well on our way. But we may have to meet with some installers to get more details. In any case, we'll work on level 2 next. And that will earn us, I think, $7,500.
Yes.
And in the EV campaign, we also reached level 1, and it was approved, and that'll give us $5,000. So at this point, we haven't received all the money, but we have earned $25,000. Not bad. So the only campaign that is not underway in terms of the reaching its goals and so forth is the community solar campaign. Now, on our website, we listed, I don't know, maybe 9 companies that if a resident of Shandaken wanted to purchase community solar, which is solar power from a large solar farm somewhere,
Yep.
not in Shandaken, they get a discount on their electric bill. But they have to sign up. So there are 9, I think there are 9 potential companies that offer this on our website. But in order to find out if anyone has signed up, we have to call these companies. So this seemed so onerous to me because we have 7 zip codes in Shandaken.
Yeah.
And to call these companies and say, well, do you have anyone in any of these 7 zip codes is, you know, quite a feat. So I contacted Eleanor Peck and I said, well, what are other communities doing?
Yeah.
And she said other communities only listed 1 to 3 companies. And the companies have been very forthcoming and willing to provide the information. So I think that we need to winnow our list a little bit, but maybe we should divide it up and call them all and see.
See who's responsive and helpful, and maybe that helps in the winnowing process as well.
Yeah, exactly, I think that would be, I know, Karen offered to make some calls, I'm willing to make some calls, Catherine, I think, was willing, and I don't know.
But you're calling the energy companies to try to glean some of that data?
These solar farm companies, yeah, to see if they have the, so if we divide up the list, maybe Maya can do some, although she's awfully busy.
And remind me what we need from them in terms of, like, in order to submit our form, what's on it?
I'll have to check that.
Okay,
I have the form, but I haven't really.
okay, because that could help in the calling process too.
Okay, so that's, Rob, Catherine. And then if we find some that, you know, if they're difficult and,
Not responsive or?
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah,
yep.
let's see that. Okay. I want to talk to Maya about this too, you know,
Yep.
but I think she didn't really talk to all of the companies. Maybe she did. We'll find out.
And didn't Simon Strauss give us a briefing on this early on, about a year ago? And he
That
had-
was community aggregation.
Okay.
That's different from
Okay.
that, yeah. I'm not, this is a little bit opaque to me because I purchase 100% renewable energy from an ESCO
Yeah, through NICEAG, right?
through NICEAG.
Yeah.
And I know Catherine does also. But that is a different
Plan,
plan.
yeah.
You want to,
But I still signed up for the community solar before our program started.
oh, I see.
So I'm doing both,
Okay,
and there doesn't seem to be any conflict
okay,
in that.
yeah. And tell me,
Situation.
how do you save money on your electric bill with this?
I've never had a large electric bill in the first place. After I got on the community solar, there were about 10 months where my NICEAG bill was 0. And now it's about $30 a month. But it was always, like even in winter,
Yeah,
it was maybe $45 a month.
yeah.
I'm not a person that wastes a lot of anything.
Yeah,
So, I don't exactly know, you know, where the savings are, but
yeah.
10 months of no bill was
Big
there, a
savings.
big savings, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I have a question, Beth.
Yeah,
In terms of this campaign, I mean, I find this one interesting because I think that this one is like easy to reach if we sort of have people sign people up for it, and then we can track those conversions instead of trying to reach out to the companies directly where we're.
well, if we get people to sign up and they tell us that they signed up, but Maya put that on the website so they could report to us, and we haven't heard from anyone. So this campaign is a little different. If you buy an electric vehicle or a heat pump, that's, you know, pretty straightforward. People understand that. But this campaign, you have to join,
Yeah.
you know, and you really have to.
Change your electricity provider.
Yeah, yeah, so,
You're saying that we could do like workshops where we have people that.
yeah, we need to educate ourselves and the public on this. I agree.
Because it's a good opportunity, it's, you know,
Yeah.
cross-section where you can give people, help them.
And for
And
people
then
who want to benefit the climate, and there are plenty of people like that who just may not be aware of this opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we?
And just to recap, if you go to our webpage at shandaken.us and you go to Climate Smart, which is on the right, and then you go down to Community Solar, there's a little video and there's an explanation, but the bottom line is it's a 10 to 15% savings every month. So if you've got a decent sized electric bill, it's obviously saving more, but 10 to 15% adds up over time, and that's why we're bringing it to the townspeople's attention, right?
Thank you. Yeah, excellent.
Great.
Okay. So those are our 3 campaigns. I think we need 10 people to sign up on community solar to reach the tier 1 level. So I'll send out an email and we'll figure out how to divide these companies up and see if we can do that.
I just counted them, there's 10 or 12 listed for NICEAG and maybe the same amount for Central Hudson, which also is.
On our website?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
You can scroll
I mean,
down.
to my knowledge, there are very few central, if any, Central Hudson
yeah,
customers.
but I mean, like I said, it might be all the same options for Central Hudson as for NICEAG, but nonetheless, they're separated because they're different people.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll dig into this. So that is the recycling center. Well, the recycling center is doing well, and I get a lot of positive feedback about the compost program. People really appreciate that. And I just wanted to report on the Tiffin project. The Tiffins were distributed yesterday at the Phoenicia Farmers Market, and there's one here on the table, which it's a stainless steel reusable container that you can use to take food home from a restaurant. If you don't eat all your food and you want to take it out, this is a far better way to take it home than using the containers that they provide in the restaurant. Because as we learned yesterday, some of the containers, even those that are said to be compostable, contain PFAS chemicals and are very toxic.
Yeah.
And the paper containers, which I always thought were benign, actually, because they're made out of carbon, when they end up in the landfill, they degrade to methane. And so they are actually causing more greenhouse gases than a plastic alternative would. So we're really promoting the use of your own reusable container instead of the packaging that you get from a restaurant. So, in addition, yesterday I learned that there is Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency has a program for restaurants. And this is the decal, a sticker they can put on their door. Oh, this is, I think, from Maya. A bear attacked my chicken coop, so I'm headed back one night early, currently on the Martha's Vineyard Ferry. Oh, that's too bad.
It is too bad.
Yeah. All right. Back to Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency and the Tiffin Project. So if a restaurant is willing to, chooses to reuse, this says, we proudly support customers who bring their own containers. Be green and keep your Tiffin clean. So this, if a restaurant is willing to do this, we can distribute these to them for their publicity.
Do you get credit for?
We don't get any credit, but we would be helping in general. And I don't know, I just thought probably the diner, because Michael was even thinking about getting Tiffins with their own branding on them.
Yeah.
Maybe the diner would be,
I mean, we can do it, but I was thinking just other places that,
yeah. Peekamoose would probably do it.
Yeah, yeah, and it could be Shandaken branded or locally branded for the diner. And the class, like you said, the class was really great. People signed up ahead of time, you filled out a 5 or 7 question that was designed to figure out how much you knew about the impact of not using or using single-use containers and paper and plastic. And it became real clear through the 20-minute talk how beneficial it was to bring in your own Tiffin only you touch it. If you're ordering something to go, have them bring it to you on a plate, you put it in the tiffin, and you close it up and leave with it.
Yeah,
And it's just, clean, sanitary, and like you said, the cardboards and some of the other things which you think are fine, they're also coated so they don't stain, so they don't leak, and those coatings leak out
yeah,
into your food.
yeah,
Good program.
it was. So,
I wonder if it's possible to ask if they have any leftover tiffins as they get towards the end of the project that we could then repurpose into the restaurants we were just talking about.
well, they're not gonna have any, they can't do that. They got this grant,
Yeah.
and they have this education component that they have to.
Yeah, they should, I mean, let them
They're
follow their
gonna-
course, and then we'll
yeah.
see at the end, what can we do to promote their effort, because it's a good.
Well, we can promote their effort by giving this to the restaurants,
Yeah.
I think, now. I'm sorry, but, oh, she sent me a picture from the ferry. Okay, back to Shandaken. Does anyone have a restaurant that they would like to talk to see if they're, okay. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, I can talk
Okay,
to,
we'll get those before we leave.
I can talk to
Okay.
Peekamoose and, East Wind and, Urban Cowboy.
Okay, thank you.
Full moon too, along that street. Did you say full moon, Robert?
It didn't, that's a good one too.
Full Moon doesn't have like a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
They're
mean, you're right,
catering events, well,
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know if people are taking
They're
any,
probably not taking that,
Not
yeah.
allowed to take it, except maybe the staff,
yeah,
which would really benefit from.
they have
tippets.
horrible takeout containers.
that would be,
They're horrible.
What's that?
They have horrible takeout containers.
but that's a good point.
At Full Moon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked there.
Uh-huh.
But eh, they're not going to offer something like this for free to their paying event
Understood.
people.
I don't think it was, I don't think,
Something like, maybe the Shandaken Inn, they might be interested in having a sign on their window, but I have yet to go there. Maybe Catskill Rose, because Peter
Yeah.
is,
yeah,
um,
okay. Those are good suggestions.
But that angle, what Robert suggested was, pitching it to the staff,
Was what?
pitching it to the staff, I mean, as well. I mean, because they're bringing home food,
mm,
potentially,
Yeah,
and they can.
sure.
So it might not be a bad idea.
No,
I don't think it would happen. Henry's
Catskill
not gonna buy
Rose,
them for the
Shandaken Inn.
employees,
Yeah.
and the employees aren't gonna buy them.
Do we
so
know
you're
what the
gonna
cost
talk
of
to
them are?
Urban Cowboy,
Do
East
we know what the
Wind,
cost of them are?
Peekamoose.
It's gonna come up. What do they cost?
These cost, it depends on the quantity
Sure.
that they buy.
Yep.
I think these cost $15.
Okay. With the labeling.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, there's labeling on it?
yeah. And, they bought 1,000.
Got it. Okay.
I looked it up on the internet today, and, let me get this. The one I saw on the internet was like $16 or $17. But you see, this is divided,
Yep.
because some people don't like their food to death.
Yep.
So if, that's his thing, we'll be happy with this one, although the division is not waterproof from this side to that side. So as she pointed out, if you have fries over here and soup over here, you can have
You know,
fries.
soupy fries.
But this one does have a nice seal, so that it is waterproof,
Yeah.
and when you take it home, it's not gonna leak all over your car.
And will you hand that around, please? Thank you. And a nice label, Ulster County Tiffin Project.
Yeah, and these, I don't know if anyone wants one of these, did you want one?
No.
These are-
Yesterday, right?
these came in
Oh.
on the project. And then I also have, something they gave me, which is the legal and sanitary code information about reuse in New York State. And it reusable containers, you know, that's not forbidden or unsanitary or something. So that's another backup piece of info. Okay.
Something very old school about that.
I'll give you some of these. Yeah. And another person suggested Bettina's in Phoenicia, yeah. So we'll see, and then if they agree to do it, let me know and I'll tell the people at Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency. And they'll be delighted, because they're really on a mission to educate people and promote this. The comprehensive plan. Karen is our liaison to the comprehensive plan, and she sent this message because she couldn't be here tonight. July 8th meeting report by Shandaken CAC liaison Karen. Patterns for Progress met with zoning and planning boards along with town board members. Purpose of the meeting was to introduce the role of Patterns for Progress and to ask introductory questions to attendees regarding their thoughts regarding the development of the town comprehensive plan. A discussion about how the role of comprehensive plan committee as the process continues and possibility of the committee becoming a steering committee. To be determined who will be involved as further discussion about committee makeup. Attendees were asked to complete Google forms sent out by Patterns for Progress. Going forward, it's unclear what the role of CAC liaison will be as the Pattern for Progress process continues. Vivian, since you're on the committee, do you have anything?
Yeah, I know everybody thinks it's Patterns for Progress, but they call themselves Pattern for Progress, like one pattern.
Thank you.
And it is going to continue to be called the Comprehensive Plan Committee. They were sort of used to having a steering committee for their projects, but we've said, no, the community is not going to know what a steering committee is. It always has been the Comprehensive Plan Committee. So they said, okay, we'll just make it that and forget about calling it the steering committee. But the important thing they wanted us to know is they want to reach out to community members and community leaders and people from groups that are not usually represented in town government, because they want to get a whole community picture. But they are also looking for new members to join the committee if people are interested in participating. And they want to have suggestions for people who might want to get involved, so people can actually give the Pattern for Progress the name and contact information of anybody that they think they should reach out to, so that they really want to get a bigger picture of the community and more people involved.
Great. Thank you.
Which includes anybody who's listening.
What?
Which includes
Yes.
anybody who's listening to
Of
me
course.
talk, yeah.
Anyone in the public?
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to say that we have a guest here tonight, and we're going to talk to you, but after we do our committee reports, okay?
Sure,
Rebecca?
yeah, no, I just came to listen anyway, so.
All right, then you'll be up to date on what we're trying to do, more or less. The Community Climate Action Plan. Well, folks, I'm very embarrassed to say that I sent out two different links. One was for January of 2023, and that was the wrong link. And so I suggest, how many people listened to you did, and you did. And did you get the Community Climate Action Plan link?
It seemed like the one I had attended originally.
Okay, good.
I
They
mean,
talked
it
about,
was-
go ahead.
Well, maybe, I attended so many of them. Now,
I feel the same way.
I said, oh yeah, I remember Eleanor saying that, and I remember this discussion, but maybe it wasn't
Well,
what
they
I watched
They
it.
talked about setting goals and doing key performance indicators.
Yes.
And they also attached a spreadsheet. And there was some homework to put into the spreadsheet. Did anyone try to add anything to the spreadsheet? No.
I did not try to add
Okay.
anything to the spreadsheet.
I think I'll send it out again, and we should all talk or email after we've seen it. So you've seen it.
Right, did I see the right one, or this is the might
If it
be-
was the Community Climate Action Plan, you saw the right one. Okay. It's based on the community inventory, which is on our
And
website.
that's what Melanie is on, right? Is that-
Yeah, but Melanie,
Melanie's
but we
on
also,
all of
before that,
them.
we did the government operations inventory and the government operations climate action plan.
Right.
See, that's the wrong one.
Oh, that's the one I saw.
Okay, well, that's good, that was a review. I'll send out the new one, and we'll try to figure this out, I'm so sorry. But it's always good to, we've done 3 plans. Government operations inventory, that's all the fossil fuels that the town burns. And then we wrote a climate action plan that explains how we can reduce that. And these reports are on our website, on the Town of Shandaken website. And then we did, with the help of Melanie, the community inventory. And that's all the greenhouse gases that the entire town produces. All the residents, the transportation of the residents, is based on census data. And that was the overwhelming, when we first sat in on that training, and we were just dumbstruck by the complexity of it all. But in the end, they gave us the data, and it, it's there in the pie charts. But it includes some things like, because the thruway passes through the county, they divided up the greenhouse gases of the thruway and assigned a little piece of it to every town. And so it, in some ways ours may be a little,
Skewed.
I don't know, they have to account for it somehow. So our community inventory, that's all the greenhouse gases that everybody in the town produces, including Bel Air, is on our website. And now we're gonna try to do a climate action plan to say how we will reduce the greenhouse gases that are being produced by the community. And one very important way, is through these 3 campaigns. Because if people install heat pumps, buy electric vehicles, and sign up for community solar, those are 3 very important actions that will reduce greenhouse things they can do to reduce greenhouse gases. So the bottom line is we're on the right track. Okay. Now, natural resource inventory.
You know more of what's going on than I do. You're doing the footwork for sure right now.
Okay.
I'm working somewhere else.
We
Watering
are,
plants.
we are, tomorrow, going to submit an application to the Hudson River Estuary Program for a grant to compile a natural resource inventory for the town. This is a priority item in the climate smart communities, and it will be an excellent tool for the planning board and zoning board, who will know where the important resources are located in the town. I sat down with Robert Drake, and we wrote the application. I requested 5 letters of support from Senator Hinchey, Kathy Nolan, Jan Metzger, Jeff Centerman at the Catskill Center, and Jan Jaffe from PH2. And I've received 4 of those. I'm waiting for 1 more tomorrow. And then we're going to file the grant. We're requesting $45,000 to hire consultants to do the GIS mapping and write the narrative. So that's the bottom line. If we get the grant, project would start in February. And, you know, we would probably have to issue an RFP. It's a 2-year project. Have to issue an RFP to hire the consultants and create a steering committee to work with the consultants. So that's my report on that subject.
And I have to add to that, Catherine, as part of my work as the CAC designee to the Ulster County Environmental Management Committee, I've been on this group called the 70 by 30 Renewable Energy Implementation Plan, working with Manajo Green and several folks that are from our different townships that are really energy experts, like some of the folks we met at the EV and Heat Pump Day. We've put out a draft right at the end of last month. In that, and I'll circulate that for folks, in that draft there's reference to a solar mapping tool. So as we look at the natural resource inventory, there probably is a coupling there. There's training available, and they actually want to figure out by township, is there someone that's interested in being the expert for solar mapping?
Yeah,
And so let me circulate that material and we'll see how it fits in.
that's great. Catherine, you have any pollinator pathway updates?
No new activity in that field.
Okay.
Except that the season is upon us and pollinators are pollinating.
Yeah, pollinators are at work as we speak. Well, let's turn to our guest, Rebecca.
Yes.
Rebecca is the gardener. Is that gardener? What do you call yourself?
Sure, that works. I manage the garden at the monastery. So.
Rebecca manages the garden at the Zen Mountain Monastery. Okay. Tell us about the garden.
Well, this is my first year doing this. Somebody else had been running the project for 15 years, and he passed away just in late winter. So I've been granted the opportunity to take this up, and you know, I'm learning as I go, but I've long been devoted to sustainability efforts and feel quite called to like doing what I can to support a greener community. So I'm learning what I can about permaculture principles and this and that, so like how to like use that half acre in ways that are like most beneficial, both for like the little community that I'm a part of and also like the larger ecosystem. And I guess like one small thing that I undertook was just kind of, we have a lot of people who come on Sundays for you know, the service at the monastery, and we have the store there that's open. So I started just like selling by donation extra produce or flowers, and I had the thought of then like donating that money to sustainability efforts locally. I think my mentioning of that was part of why it was assumed I might be interested in this meeting. So I raised some money so far, which I donated to an organization called Sustainable Hudson Valley. I don't know if you know of them, but I'm open to like other ideas, and it's like a very micro project. You know, it's like not just kind of like whatever little contribution I or we can make.
Well, it's wonderful. Yeah, I applaud your efforts. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this meeting gives you some kind of sense of the kinds of projects that we're working on, and we would love to have you become more involved if you're interested.
I'd love to be. I mean, I'm not sure how that would look, but I'm open to possibilities. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get your email.
Okay.
Maybe we can put you on our email list. If you'd like to attend more meetings, you know, I don't know. You know, membership is, well, we would have to talk about that privately, I think, but it's an appointment by the town board. So if you were interested in joining as a member, then we would have to go through that process. But you might want to just hang out with us for a while.
Sounds fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get your email before we leave.
Okay.
Now, the big question here is, shall we meet in August or shall we take a month off?
Month off, that's an easy question.
I know. It's August 19th is our next meeting, and normally I'm out of town at that time, but I won't be out of town on August 19th this year, so I could be here. But if we do decide to work on this community climate action plan, maybe we could do a couple sessions in August on our own and then collaborate with each other by email. Give our thoughts, you know, to the, how to proceed with the homework. Like, there's a spreadsheet. Now, you know, that's not my favorite activity. But I know Robert is good at it. So let's think about, if we all do the spreadsheet, then we're gonna have, you know, minestrone. But if one person does the spreadsheet, I think, you know, then might be more efficient. What do you think, Catherine?
I think that an ad hoc meeting, as opposed to requiring Leanne and Tom to be here videotaping, maybe like we could meet at Glenbrook Park under the pavilion if it's cooler out. It says it's climate controlled in here, I don't know. I think, and we could just sit and talk about that and maybe have the spreadsheet on someone's laptop and, you know, work on, if we get more than the 4 of us to look at the video, the webinar, and, or maybe not, I mean.
Well, I would just like to point out that there, in New York State, there's something called the Public Meetings Law, and we are bound by the Public
Okay.
Meetings Law. If
Sorry.
4 of us meet, that's a public meeting, because that's a quorum.
Uh-huh.
We can meet in smaller groups,
Uh-huh.
but if 4 of us meet, we have to have public notice. We don't necessarily have to videotape it, but we have to, it's a little more complicated process. Yes,
Tom.
Tom.
We get paid.
What?
They get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that a vote for having the meeting next month, Tom, so you get paid? Yes. No, Leanne says.
She needs a vacation.
She needs a vacation,
Okay, either way.
yeah. Okay, well, let's,
Well, can we wait and see if Maya and Karen and maybe Michael are also willing to look at this video and actually, like, we have a meeting where we can really all discuss it, as opposed to who knows who shows up kind of thing?
That's a good idea.
so let me just make sure I understand what you're suggesting. You're suggesting for our August meeting, we just devote ourselves to that topic. Is that an idea?
Well, maybe.
And I guess it would be videoed.
Well, if it's a
Yeah.
requirement, then if we're actually having 4 or more people.
If we get together, you know, we can email each other.
Mhm.
We can all watch it and then email each other if we want to do it that way.
Or we can have if we have a Zoom meeting, is that against the law of it not being,
I think so.
we could have a Zoom meeting?
No, I don't
Oh,
think so.
oh, okay,
I think the public meetings law is pretty,
okay.
Clear.
yeah. I mean, we can all email each other and
Mhm.
discuss
Small
it.
groups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm okay with skipping in August, but if there is something to cover and they've got a bunch of stuff they want to bring together, then let's put it back on the calendar.
Okay, let's do it in August. Our next meeting will be August 19th. And then, and the primary and maybe only topic of discussion will be the Community Climate Action Plan. Does that sound good? And maybe we can do the spreadsheet at that meeting, you know? Okay.
Does that all have to cover if we do a workshop,
Yep,
including a workshop?
yep. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're doing any changing the carrots.
No, I know. I think even a workshop has to be noticed and,
Well, it still has to be, it has to be at least announced on the website.
yes.
Right, yeah.
Anybody have anything else they want to add? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.